So I've been losing momentum, or I think I've lost momentum with my videos, with content, and I found myself each time putting it off. Like, oh, I just twisted my hair for bed and so it's not great. Or I'm like, I'm really tired, I can't make it. Or I just keep coming up with these excuses about um, why I shouldn't come and talk with you and be on camera. And and it's not that I don't want to, like talk about life abroad or moving abroad or what that's like. I really do want to talk about it, and I think I have, it's such a strong or a great message, an important message for you. And I really want to empower women to build their lives in the way that they want. And I think one of the great ways to do that is to do it internationally in cultures that might be more conducive to the way that you want to live your life. If the way that you're living currently is not what you want. And because this is what I did, I moved abroad like 16 years ago at least. And since 2009, right? Yeah, 16 years ago, I moved abroad. And it was a crazy, crazy idea. Crazy. It's not crazy, but it was bigger than my dreams in the moment. Like I always had the dream of, I always wanted an international life, living and speaking and working and breathing in like different culture and different language. That's always been, but the day I moved, the moment I decided I was going to live abroad, that dream of like, can I actually do it was beyond like my imagination. And I just went for it. A little bit of like youthful exuberance and my alarm. A little bit of like youthful exuberance is why I moved abroad. But it was also just that kind of like, I don't know, I just like, what do I have to lose? I said to myself, if it doesn't work out, I can always come back home. I can always come back to the country I lived in. And I had those privileges. Sometimes, some of us may not have that privilege. You might not, have that privilege of having that kind of like security of, I can always move back home. I was fortunate enough. I am fortunate enough and privileged enough to have that. And so I had that kind of like safety net. But even if I think now looking back, or now that I've grown and experienced and lived abroad for so long, I think I still also believe that, even if I don't have like a home safety net to go, I think I just have an unwavering belief that it will work out. Call it optimism, call it naivety, call it, I don't know, delusion. Delulu is the Sululu, right? Mm, I just think life is an experiment, and in through our failures, there is you have these lessons. And I just, at the point when I was moving, to the point I'm saying is the point when I was decided to move abroad, I was just like, just go, go. I mean, get all your paperwork, sort out your documentation, do all of it, but try. Experiment in your life. Try this thing, attempt it, do it. And so I did. And here I am in Paris 16 years later. Anyways, the I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm Today is fully a yapping video. But um just looking back and to today in my I'm just here in my living room sitting down and I already twisted my hair, did the plaits for bed. And I was just like, Deidre, you're losing momentum on this message and on this, this message that you want to talk about and you want to share. And, this vision of empowering women to build their lives abroad, to rebuild their lives abroad. You're losing momentum, and it's going to one more day is going to lead to one more week, is going to lead to one more month, and suddenly it's 1 year later and you have not gone back to posting. And so I just decided it doesn't matter what my hair looks like, it doesn't matter kind of like how I'm feeling. I turn on the camera because this is an important topic and I want to keep building and moving on and moving forward with this message of moving abroad. And so that's why I'm here. How long have I spoken? I think like maybe I don't have my glasses. Maybe it's like 10 minutes later. This is why I'm here. And so I don't know what my topic is going to be like. I think I might run through just a lot of the things, like a lot of the anxieties or thoughts that I have when I was moving abroad. And I moved abroad 5 times, right? And out of those 5 times, I moved to France twice. And there was like a 5 year gap in between the first move and the second move. So, my first move was to France. My first and final, currently final. My first move was to France in 2009, 2009. And everything was surreal and I didn't have like a backup plan. And I actually wrote a chapter about this in my book, The Map Back to You. And it's, I don't remember what number the chapter, but it's called Landing in the Unknown. And in that chapter, I really talked about the anxiety of arriving at the first time, and how arrival is sometimes so messy, and it can be like you 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 never really you arrive in layers when you move abroad and you get to that new place. And when I first moved, like literally, I was unhoused for, well, 2 days before I arrived. I lost my apartment and my accommodation. And so I really had to like scramble. And it's, I've gone through so many of those kind of like tumultuous, kind of like epic pauses of things that could like really like stop progress. And the first trip it was, yeah, you have nowhere to stay in France anymore. What you gonna do? And so I really had to figure out. I scrambled and I found a place. Well, someone helped me. Someone hosted me for a time, and then I found another like smaller little studio with just like bare bones, nothing really in it. It was basically kind of like a little dorm room. And then 2 months later, maybe a month or two later, I found, a place that I really wanted to rent, and I stayed there for a year. And that's like the first move. And there are some of those like great points. I lost my visa on one of the times I moved abroad, and I had to move back home. And I actually didn't move back home. I moved to Colombia instead. Um, and that was also, I moved to Colombia because I had moved to India before, and my roommate in India was Colombian, and we got along really well. We're still great friends. And when I lost my visa, she was like, "Well, come to Colombia. Why don't you, come with me?" And her family owns a school. She was like, "Come teach French to the Spanish kids, and I'm like, what? I don't know Spanish. I learned Spanish in the year. Um, and yeah, I moved to Colombia. But it was just like, having that thought of you've lost your visa, what do you do now? What you gonna do, Diedre? Kind of like yet again, I felt like, I don't know, life was kind of like mocking me a little bit. And yeah, then I moved to Colombia. And Colombia was great. Like I had a really good time living with my friend, but Colombia, the country, beautiful, wonderful as it is, was not, I didn't feel, I didn't connect with it on that kind of like spiritual soul level. Like some places will just grab you, I don't know, spiritually, and you just feel this kind of like connection. And Colombia, I didn't feel that way about Colombia. It was just like an ambiguous kind of like, I don't know, it's neutral. Like I absolutely did not hate living in Colombia, but I also absolutely did not love it either. Like it was a very neutral vibe, and this was just like, I don't think this is a place that I want to live any longer, like in a long-term way. And so I left Colombia and I moved back to Jamaica. Moved back home. And I stayed there for several years and I had a horrible time just readjusting to Jamaica life. It was such a hard transition. I didn't make it, y'all. I left after a few years. Um, at first I thought it was kind of like culture shock, but it really, no, I think I had just expanded and grown into a different Deidre that did not, Jamaican culture and Jamaican life did not mirror, it didn't mirror back to me. Like, I couldn't find myself again there. And it was hard to like get settled. And so I moved again. And the point, I'm just here talking about this because I'm trying to get at no matter like how many obstacles or if you have these kind of like tumultuous kind of like instances in your journey, don't lose momentum. And this is what I'm trying to tell myself as well. Don't lose momentum. Keep at it. And if you feel like momentum is like running away from you, like grab it by the tails and just keep going. And so if you're in your moving abroad journey and you're trying to think about, what are the different steps or what you need to do, and the process can be overwhelming. But if you feel overwhelmed or if you're, thinking maybe it's not the right call for you, like take a pause and really think about it. If, your goal, why you decided you wanted to move abroad in the first place, really get clear on that and then go right back into momentum. Do it messy. Do it with your hair not great. Do it when you don't feel you're ready for whatever it is that you're planning. You're ready for your next trip to France to move there or whichever country that you want to move to. Do it. Like, keep the momentum. Go back and grab the momentum because you're going to need it and it's so, so, so necessary because you accumulate, you know, one positive step leads to another positive step, leads to another positive outcome. And soon enough, you're like, I've arrived, I've landed in France, I've landed in the country I want to move to. So, this is why I'm here. I'm here to keep building the momentum, keep accumulating that one positive result, one video after another to get the message of empowering women, empowering you to live the life that you want. And if you want to do it internationally, do it. Plan for it. I have workshops that can help you get clear on moving to France. Um, there are one-on-one services that we can work together one-on-one to really build out your next action plan. Or you can just keep watching my video because I'm going to keep the momentum going. Regardless of how I look or how I feel I should show up, even if I'm not ready for that state of content creation, I'm just going to still turn on the camera and create content because I think the message is more important than my visual. And so that's why I'm here. Why do you want to move abroad? What vision do you have of living abroad? Why do you want to move to France? Tell me in the comment. I will read them all and I will respond to them. But I'm really just kind of like curious. I'm passing the mic to you. Tell me. So answer in the comments and let me know. And what questions do you have for me? If you have questions about life in France, tell me and I will respond. And I will also create videos based on your responses as well. I think I'm going to stop here or else I'm going to go into another ramble. Which I don't think I want to do tonight. I'm already nervous enough. I already burped once. I don't know if you caught it. So I'm already nervous. But I just want to leave you with that message, a reminder that your life is for you and it's for you to experiment. Failure is only another lesson. And it's just trials. Like you just try and you never know what it might bring. And instead of like thinking about, oh, what if it doesn't work out? Just what if it does? I feel like this walking cliche, but what if it does? What if it does work out? And this is just how I've been living my life every day. What if it does work out? I don't know. It might be really great. It will be totally awesome if it works out. So I hope you keep trying. And I hope you keep your plan to live abroad and move to France. Because France is why do I say move to France? Well, France is where I live, and France is where I felt the most comfortable with myself. And I think I also like I feel like I learned to adult as a French person. I did learn to adult, really adult in France because I moved when I was so young. I was like 21 or something. I didn't know it like anything. I hadn't lived on my own yet or any of this. And so I learned how to do all of that in France. And I moved back as well because of, health wise, I wanted to be in a country and I wanted to grow old in a country where I felt I could rely on healthcare, where I could contribute to healthcare and feel confident that my contribution, i.e., my taxes, I could know and figure out where it was going. And I felt, confident that it would be helping me and others in the right way or in a way that I liked. And so that was one of the reasons why I chose France. And then France is really quite diverse in terms of landscapes, in terms of what it offers. And I also feel that it's a good middle ground between um, affordable living and, it's not like super duper expensive. Paris can be quite expensive, especially in relation to the rest of France. But you have like different levels, and I think it was just like a good mix of affordable living, and then also if I wanted to have like more exuberance or luxury, then I could tap into that. And then I also wanted a place that had different seasons, but not like too extreme. Even though Scandinavia calls to me, calls to my soul. But I wanted to live in a place that had like different seasons, um, but not like too extreme. And I find that France, on a whole, I think, is relatively mild in the way that the seasons are. Because, like, people will tell me, it was like, oh, you live in Jamaica, it's always, you're from Jamaica. Why did you move to like cold France for winter? And I'm like, I don't know about you, but I do not appreciate sun 30 degrees Celsius every single day, all day for 24 hours. At 7 a.m., it's 30 degrees. At midnight, it's 30 degrees. No, this is, I promise you, it is not that fun. And so I like when the mornings are cooler and then during the day it warms up and then at night it gets cool again. Like I like those transitions. And yes, we can have this in so many other countries, but I don't know, I like how it flows in France. Um, and funny enough, like I do like the French language. When I was in high school, I did have the option of choosing between Spanish or French as the language to study. And I couldn't get into Spanish and the sound of Spanish. And I liked the je ne sais quoi of French, let's say. And so I studied it just like as much as you can in high school. And so that's part of like what attracted me to France. And then I arrived here as my test, my first step into testing my international life where I get to speak different languages. And I found a really great network in France and I have a good support system here. I think I was fortunate to find this. And that also made me want to stay even longer. And so that's part of the reasons why I chose France. Gosh, I said I was gonna leave. I yapped into other things. But yeah, that's why I chose France. So I'm also curious about why you want to move to France. What's attracting you here? What's intriguing about it that's pulling you towards France? Tell me. I'm very curious. I'd really love to know your story of why you're planning to move to France. Okay, truly going to stop here because I'm going into, like, I feel myself going into another yap and we should all go to bed. I have work tomorrow and quite a lot of things to do. It's payroll time, and I have global payroll to start with, French payroll, and 4 or 5 other countries. And my HR self is sleepy, and I should get some rest so that I can start the day fresh and focused so I can get myself paid and pay other people. But it's really great coming here. I hope we'll be hanging out in the comments soon. I'm Diedre and I help you to build your life abroad the way that you want because you deserve it. So let me know why you want to move to France. Let us work together. Tell me in the comments and I will respond to all of them. Ciao. And if you have like, check out some of my other videos about how specifically to move to France and like how different French companies tend to like hire foreigners, what they look out for. I will suggest it up here and see you next time. Ciao.